Sly Guy podcast has a Patreon, so that means if you want to see all things Sly, some behind the scenes stuff, some vlogs, just other bits of fun time and festivities, you can head to patreon.com/Sly Guy podcast, or simply click the link in the description of the podcast. Thank you to everyone that is there. Appreciate all the support. It's a great time. It's a great place. Patreon. The Sly Guy podcast is brought to you by Visual Antics Apparel. 2025, we're pushing it. We're pushing the merch. We're making people buy it. We're coercively saying, you better get that merch. I will wreck you. VisualAnticsApparel.com, or follow the link below. And if you want 10% off, Sly Guy 10 at checkout. But yeah, the Sly Guy podcast is brought to you in association with Modest Beer. Yes, you better believe it. Modest Beer sponsored this podcast. And Modest Beer have some great news. Modest Beer, we're based here in Hollywood. They moved their base to Randallstown, and now they're moving to Bangor, so I'm going to be there loads, drinking Modest Beer, having a great time, supporting Modest Beer. And if you want to join me on this modest ride, you can do so. Check out their website, modestbeer.co.uk, or follow the link in the description of this podcast. Get 15% off with the discount code SLYPA15 at checkout, and get modest with me right now. That looked like a pig's trotter. Gross.
I'm the Sly Guy.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Sly Guy podcast. Firstly, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been listening to the podcast over the last while. I know we took a wee bit of a break over the festive period, but we're back and we're feeling strong, we're feeling good, and the feedback has been lovely. So thank you to everyone that's been doing that. If you're new to the podcast for 2025, that's your New Year's resolution, is to listen to me more. Why don't you hit subscribe wherever it is you get it, whether that's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Pod, wherever. I appreciate it and thank you for your ears. Hopefully, we'll continue the momentum with this fab episode that I have for you today. This was another fun, silly episode. We're chatting about trips, going abroad with family, going abroad by yourself. I don't know why I made that creepy face, but it was a fun time. Chatted comedy, silliness, and just all things going on in the world of me and my guest, Sean Hegarty. So guys, wherever you're listening, watching, streaming illegally, whatever, I don't know if illegal streams, dark web, just subscribe and you get this episode in your ear every Thursday, nice and earlier in your eyes if you're watching it. Or if you want it earlier than that, you can get it on patreon.com/podcast, link in the description. But anyway, buckle your seatbelts. Undo your belt, undo your buttons, pull your zip down, and enjoy this week's episode of the Sly Guy podcast.
We are live. What was that voice? We are live.
I know, it sounded really weird. I don't know what you're doing. I think it sounded like a weird frog or something. Was it trying to be like the Stephen Watson? We are live on BBC. Yeah. Nice. Big shout out to Stephen Watson. Haven't seen you in a while. Always love you. But that sounded really emotional. Like, I've not. I just want to point out, Stephen Watson and I, as to the best of my knowledge, have never had a falling out. There's been no beef.
Have you met him before?
Yeah, great guy.
Good guy.
Great guy.
Seems like a nice guy.
Lot of fun. Good man. Very funny. And very professional and good at his job, and a lot of respect. And as well for the ASMR people on the pod listening, you just had a mouthful of coffee there. How was it?
It was nice. I tried to keep it as far away from the mic as possible, but obviously it's...
Do you know what? We're recording this early in the morning. This is the thing about podcasting. Sometimes you have to... I like to record in the morning, but sometimes recently I've had to do the evenings in order just to get it done in time. The boring behind the scenes shit. But I can't enjoy a coffee at night because then I go home and I...
Oh yeah, you're wired.
Yeah,
you're
and
wired.
See, when I'm wired, I don't know what to do, so I end up just going out and like burgling houses and all, like stalking people and looking in their windows and all, and being a real fucking problem. So
I know. I used to never... Every time I would go somewhere, I'd be like, right, don't have a coffee. It's after 4 o'clock. It's after 5 o'clock. I go out and visit my brother. You go through the front door. I'm making a coffee. Do you want one? You're like, oh, aye. Straight away. You just, I just cave it. It's like a druggie.
So nice.
I know.
Like, that's the problem.
Sometimes it tastes like shit, but you're still like, oh, coffee.
Do you get a buzz off of coffee?
I don't think so.
No.
I think I flatline through life. I think I don't get a buzz off anything.
Yeah, I think you're great. Oh, guess what? We're pregnant. She said yes. Class.
Yeah. Happy days. That's just
we're pregnant. Amazing. Sean, you've won the lottery. Ace.
good stuff.
No, I think because like I've always been a kind of guy over the years to like have never had an effect on coffee. Now I've had other things that have instantly affected me, like
Cat.
yeah, just any time like these horses are pussies. But it was like cigarettes. Like if I had taken a draw of a cigarette, I felt all like lightheaded and all. Do you know what I mean? Or if you smoke any of that cannabis weed, which by the way I don't really recommend, doesn't work well on me. I had the same. I'm like, whereas I don't drink a coffee and go, I'm buzzing now.
Yeah.
I drink a coffee and go,
Take a glass of water.
Yeah, but you know what I always think when I have a coffee? A wee bun would go nice with that. And then there's my problem. Do you know?
That's your downfall, isn't it?
Yeah. And I like a fancy coffee. Like we're having I'm having a latte. You're having a cappuccino, and
Cappuccino with shot of caramel.
oh, it was shit. I thought you said
That's Borat there instead of Italian.
It's
wasn't it?
cappuccino with shot of caramel. Yes. But yeah, I like a strong black coffee, but I also like the flavoured ones because these ones kind of taste like desserts or buns or something. You know what I mean? Whereas like a black morning one, I'm like, that's me set for the day, even though I don't buzz off it. So
Yeah.
I know just like the taste of it. Do you know what I mean?
Diona, we have just a normal coffee. We have a Zera. Do you know the like powdery stuff?
Yeah.
So normally I lift it and give it a wee shake, and if it rattles, it goes back on the shelf. But if it's silent, you know it's the powder. And then we have oat milk, the Barista oat milk. You have to give it a good shake. Some people, like you go to Starbucks and places like that, Cafe Nero, they just open it and pour it, and you're like, here, fucking read the side of it. Do you know what I mean? You're supposed to whisk it. You're supposed to give it a good shake. So we give it a good shake, and pour it up, and it's like a latte then. It's lovely. Like an oat latte.
I like that because that's the problem in some places, isn't it? Like nowadays, everyone needs a title in shops. You can't just be a fella that works in Starbucks. Do you know what I mean? You're a barista.
You're a barista.
You're a Subway artist or something.
Sandwich artiste.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You're a dude who works in Subway.
Look at bin men now. Refuge collectors.
Oh, true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they should get a few of those boys around Lauren ports and stuff just to stop the guy. Joke. I always feel like I need to address this quickly. I've made a couple of jokes, shocking, on a podcast of late, like silly things that are so nonsense, like that last one, and people just comment back and be like, "This is like." I made a joke a couple of weeks ago about how somebody was like how people do silly things to like raise awareness for causes, like some of the skinny dip for like Palestine. You know what I mean? And I was joking at how, and then someone's like, "Well, the reason they do this is to try and raise awareness." Yeah, fucking no. You know, I'm aware. I'm just taking the. It's called being silly. Imagine like. What was it you did? That's right, we'll not name the venue, but the worst gig of all time with me.
I'll name it if you want.
No, please don't, because then they might come burn the
backlash.
studio down or something. But
I remember I made like a fake T-shirt and sent it to you.
I know. I said, oh my God.
It's like, lest we forget.
Yes, but that was a funny thing, because you do one-liners, which in joke form is the most pure form of, like, that is a joke. You're literally saying a joke, and that audience was going, like, taking everything you said literally, like, but why? And you're like, and I was just baffling.
Why did you strap your dog to a helicopter? And you're all here, fucking catch a grip.
Be like, I'm going to phone a PSN. Once I finish these lines that are racked up on the table, I'm going to go and phone the PSNI.
Yeah, that was a mad night.
Oh,
me and Butler.
I have the fear every so often when I think about doing, like, every gig I go into now, I think if it's going to be a dodgy one, I think it's going to be like that. And then every time, like, nothing will ever be that bad.
I know.
Nothing can ever be that bad. That was the worst of all time.
Yeah. It was like an underground mountain. It was like the anti-peak, wasn't it?
Oh.
It'll never get lower than that.
I actually, at one point, I was like, should I just go back to work? You know? I felt like everyone has ever made a negative comment on anything I did was in that room that night. Do you know what I mean? I think they were all the gags. And, yeah.
Yeah, I've started posting content again. I know what you mean. Like, I posted a crowd work show. Or a set from Lavery's from, I think it was just before Christmas, and I posted it in full last week, which I never do. I don't even like giving my jokes away as like reels or clips. So I went through all my stuff yesterday, and I was like, I did, obviously me and you did dailies at the weekend, and I was like, I wonder, should I upload this? But obviously when I get on stage, sometimes I do like obviously I'm a bit of a comedy diva. You know, I says to the guy who was running the gig, Joe, you do these 3 things for me, I'll come and do your gig. And he goes, Sean, for you, mate, anything. And I goes, right, number 1, don't like America, don't like the Americans, just wipe out America. And he goes, the gig's like next Friday, I can't do that. And I goes, right, just LA then. And went down well after a few O's, but then I was like, I can't post this online. Number 1, obviously I fucking don't hate Americans. I love Americans. I love America.
You can tolerate them.
There's some, Joe, It's like Man United fans. You know what I mean? There's a couple around for everybody, but
Yeah, fair.
overall, they're not they are the worst.
Yeah,
but
they're the worst. They're the worst. Yeah. No,
You know
in
what I
fact,
mean?
probably Arsenal fans, but we'll get on that another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if you watched that back. I think I did a big cackle like the Joker at that point. I really laughed at that. That was really funny. But yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? That I suppose you just want people to know. Ultimately, unless you're a prick. Now there are a few pricks who go out with sole aim to offend but I don't think there's anyone locally that does that.
No, there was a few times on Friday night, wasn't it? There was a few times on Friday night when I looked at the audience and I was like, I've lost a couple of females in the room, and it's probably from me being a prick. But I'm not trying to be a prick. I'm just trying to just go. I'm just trying to. It's hard to put into words or into context, but Joe, I would say like Joe, me and my wife went into hospital. She had a baby. Obviously, I did most of the work, and this girl was like, taking it really literal, and I'm like, obviously.
Yeah, see,
I'm playing a character. I'm having a laugh. I'm just, it's banter. It's
sometimes the thing that I find annoying, especially knowing you and knowing me. We would be the two of the most kind of like. That's very enjoyable. But we would be two of the most like supportive, like joint parenting, co-parents, and like. You know, or if our wives want to do it and we're so supportive of them, we like, it sounds like a kind of guy being like, but I think women should still be murdered. No, but you know what I mean? It's like off stage, like we joke about the stuff on stage we don't do in real life. Do you know what I mean? So exactly. Like I take the piss out of my wife all the time. Truth be told, I'm terrified of her. Like she's the boss, 100%. But I think like some people just be like, oh my God, is that how he actually thinks? You know, like I'm saying all stuff like
that's it. Whereas it's your respite, isn't it? It's your opportunity to go out and go, I'm going to be a dirty bastard for half an hour. I'm going to be the polar opposite of who I am. It's almost like if you were an actor, Joe, and you were like, I'm like, if I was ever going to be an actor, you are obviously. If I was ever going to be an actor, I think I would play really gritty roles. You know, I would love to just be a real bastard, like shouting and angry and stuff, because I'm the complete opposite in real life.
Yeah, and that is the fun. Like that's why I think I enjoyed the Blue Lights thing so much, was because obviously people know what I'm like. And then I got to be a real mad bastard. Yeah, it's great. And then people see, obviously, us doing jokes and all. And, like, the majority of content we do is silly, it's jokes, it's funny, it's sketches. So when you do something different, people are like, oh, wow, that's a bit weird. And you're like, isn't it?
But anything that is said in a comedy club setting where you're on stage holding a microphone is not to be taken seriously. Yeah. Like, ever, no matter what you say.
And, like, but, no, again, this is another thing, like, that do you ever think you go a bit mad, like you remember things differently, like the Mandela effect they say, like you remember, like for example you'd think, oh, mirror mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, is actually the words are magic mirror on the wall, which made me go, whoa, that's not true. Right. And I was like, you're bullshitting. And then I watched it back and in Snow White it was magic mirror, and I'm like, mad,
like the old,
yeah, like the old
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
It's just changed.
Seven Little People. What do you call them?
Call spade a spade. They are. You know, those guys, that's what they're called in the movie. That's what I call them.
What, do you just put your hand in their head? You're like,
in fairness, I probably have shorter arms than those guys, but we'll not. But I was thinking, like, I remember years and years ago, I did a bit, like, one of my earliest bits was just literally recounting a true story about an encounter I had with a homeless dude in America threatening me, and he was calling me a white N-word. You know, so I used to say on stage, what you looking at, white? You know? And then, like, now I saw that recently, and I was like, oh, fuck, I said that. Shit, I said that word. I'm done forever. And I was like, but at the time, it was like, it was kind of, I thought, like, if you're not, like, using it in a threatening way, I thought at the time, that's probably, 10, 15 years ago, it was okay. And I thought, and then everyone's like, no, you can never do it, never. It's disgusting. I'm like, right, I'm sorry, I was ill-informed, and I've not used it since,
but
in public.
But I feel the same as well. Like I have a joke where I would say, my dad rang me and he goes, have you tried this new like Christmas juice? It has the N-word on it. I don't want to say what the name of it is, and I'm all like, why? And he goes, it's a racial slur.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. But that's a great joke.
But I've said that joke before, and I've said almost like the N-word because I felt like I had to in order for people to get the joke. But now I just say the N-word, and I'm like,
with a hard R, I hope.
With an 5 A's and then a H.
And an R, you really emphasize it. Like as if you're from the West Country. But then I was watching Shaun of the Dead, and there's a scene in that where Nick Frost pulls up in the car, hops out, he goes, what's up, Matt? you know, to these group of white people. And I was like, it was.
Imagine somebody clipped that there and tagged him in it, and he got cancelled because of you've just called him out down the line.
Yeah, but that's what happens too. And like that's what I find the funniest about cancel culture is, you know, when people go out and pull statues of dudes down and throw them in the river. He had slaves. I'm like, no harm, but having slaves back in the days, like having an iPhone now, you know, it's kind of just what they did.
It's just something you're going to be embarrassed about down the line.
Exactly.
I can't believe that.
But like it's just like it's
Only
hard.
your iPhone's not chained to the wall, but yeah.
Yeah, well, and they are. I was going to say they're more useful, but probably not, depending on times. But yeah, obviously, like that last 5 minutes was clearly we are aware as people that's wrong.
Yeah.
That is a joke. We are only but kidding. Racial issues are something we don't understand as white guys, and I just hope for equality for all. And I'm sorry.
Exactly.
But we can joke about that, and I'm sorry that I can be on stage. Like, I remember I made a joke once. The old joke that I did back in the day. Now I've changed it to ADHD because for some reason people find that a bit funnier than autism. I don't know. Right. But a joke I did once was, and again, it wasn't a joke about the condition. It was a joke about the time that we lived in. So I said, when I was what was known as growing up as, when I was growing up, I was known as a bit of a handful. Yeah,
oh, right.
I was, known as a bit of a handful.
Right.
Yeah, so when I was growing up, I was known as a bit of a handful, or in today's terms, autistic. You know, that was, and the joke wasn't at autistic people or whatever. The joke was aimed at, like, whenever we were growing up, 80s, 90s, that was true. You just were like, he needs to eat too much Coca-Cola this morning. You know, he shouldn't have eaten that pack of Skittles. It was not like we need to take him down or something wrong with him.
Yeah.
It's like he needs to run around the garden for half an hour, you know. So it was always like, he's a bit much. You know, it's like they say too, he was no angel, means total cunt. Like if anyone in the news goes, he wasn't an angel.
Newsline 6:30.
Yeah.
The ma's in a house coat smoking, isn't she?
Yeah.
Mourning the passing of her son.
Yeah. I don't know what was wrong with him. He got shot 1,000 times.
Yeah.
He was no angel, but he didn't deserve that. And you're going, well, he probably got himself into a bit of bar, didn't he?
He got shot right through his swastika tattoo.
Yeah.
But here...
He loved that tattoo and all, didn't he? But yeah, it's like that. And I just sometimes go, I think the best way to be is just go, you know, if people have a problem, just go, well, that's not how it meant. Maybe, you know, you need to chill out a bit. And it's that whole thing. I get it. See if you don't like something. Like there's a lot of stuff I don't like on TV. Like a lot of shows I think are a bit wick. A lot of like, and again, if comedies come out, I think the majority of us will want them to do well. If you see a new comedy, you want it to be funny. But then if you watch it and it's crap, you're like, oh, do you know what I mean? But then you don't go straight onto someone's page and go, oh fucking shit, that's so shit.
But people don't realise too that comedy is so subjective that when people go, this isn't funny, and what if you look at the comments above it, it's people doing like crying laughter faces, and you're like, well, you've instantly been proved wrong, right? But the thing is, post I don't think this is funny or I don't find this funny, which you're perfectly entitled to, but don't go this is not funny, because you're making a statement that is impossibly true.
Yeah, but what a special comment that'll be. I do not think this is funny.
I know.
Or just go, I don't think this is funny, and hold that opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't have to broadcast it. You don't have to tell the creator.
Because there's sometimes, like, I mean, you can be buzzing, having a great day, and you just go, what a dick. You might be in the depths of it. You might be struggling. You might be stressed out. It takes a comment like that, and you've fucked your day.
Yeah.
And then that makes you... You know what I mean? People just need to chill out. And
it's like when people were posting the final picture of the cast of Gavin and Stacey after the finale, Christmas night, and then people were commenting under going, I have never seen a single episode of this. And you're like, right? What the who gives a fuck?
Yeah. But see,
Go on about your day.
I hadn't seen a single episode of that, but I was there in my house on Christmas Day, building the Barbie dream house, eating ham sandwiches, drinking Baileys. And I don't think, from a comedy perspective, I've seen a better episode of anything ever. I think it was just from comedy point of view, it had it all. It had heart. It was funny. It was well written. You got all the stories. It tied it all up. It was class. Absolutely brilliant.
We love it. It's absolutely brilliant.
And I think I'm going to do. I did this with Game of Thrones too. I watched like one of the big final episodes where everyone was being killed off in a big wild battle, and we were staying in an Airbnb at the time because our house was damaged, and I was just in the bedroom and I could just hear all this kerfuffle on the TV. Because Catherine's like, when I watch this, you need to go away because it's my thing. All right. And I sort of poked, like a wee kid, I poked my head around and was like, that sounds good, what's happening here and all? And she was like, don't ruin this for me, just don't talk, please. And I just watched it and was like, this is mad crack. And there wasn't even any ditties in that episode. And I was like,
was there dicks? Is that why she watched it?
Yeah, there's always dicks, like dicks and everything.
There, yeah?
Oh, speaking of dicks, I'll go back on this in a minute, but we got to the end of that, and I thought that was class, and started from the start. Watched it all. I'm going to do it at Gavin and Stacey. I'm going to go back to
you
start
have to. It's
and
brilliant.
watch it all.
It's absolutely brilliant.
But yeah, speaking of dicks, Nosferatu, it's a new movie out, like a Dracula type. I think the gist of Nosferatu is they didn't have the rights for Dracula, so they made him creepier and weirder.
Right.
But my mother-in-law and father-in-law went to see it because they would go to cinema quite a bit to see things. She's like, oh, Nosferatu's a gothic classic. Apparently just ditties in full frontal flat out.
Right.
He loved it.
Will we go after here?
I was going to say, let's go up, let's pick up the kids and just be like, you sit there. But yeah, so I would sort of be like, oh, what would you go and see? So we went to see Robbie Williams, and we'd recommended going and seeing that film to her, the Robbie Better Man
Biggest
movie.
flop in years.
What is it?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
unbelievable.
Apparently, it cost 110 million to make, and it made 100. It's made 110,000 so far.
Well, that's BS because it's class. They need to go out and see it. It's really, really good, really, really good. But yeah, Nosferatu, I just thought it might be a bit scary, but you want to see ditties and dicks, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
I just think that's adds.
Makes
to
everything
you,
less scary, doesn't it?
It just adds to it. You know what I mean? Because that's real life. Like, I don't know if you like. Supposing you're married and all, like ditties and all aren't as exciting because you just are seeing them running about day to day, getting changed, having the shower and all, and you're like, and you're pulling your trousers on and all. It's just not as sexy. Like me tripping through my boxers and all. It's not a nice sight, seeing up my arsenal. I'm like, I'm sorry about that. It's just, whereas in like a gothic noir with a vampire going to suck your blood, it's kind of
Suck more than your blood.
Oh, I tell you what, if you're a big old root, just a big straw full of blood for you, isn't it? Get in here. In fact, that's what not a gay thing to do. But if I was a vampire, I'd be biting hard dicks. I think that's the quickest way to get...
Two birds, one stone, isn't it?
Exactly, one bone. Go for it.
Two birds, one bone. So Nosferatu?
Yeah.
Is that like Latin for vampire or Dracula, or what do you
Creepy
think?
dude. I don't know. No, I think it's
Surely
just
it's translatable into something.
Let's Google what Nosferatu, the meaning of Nosferatu, the Nosferatu.
Do you know I've downloaded? There's a new... I don't want to say it properly in case it sets all our phones off or whoever's listening's phone, but... Okay, Google. Yeah?
What?
Okay, Google.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. There's a new one now, Gemini, that I downloaded, and she's a flirt.
Yo, is she?
She is a full flirt. Like, I'm driving along, and like Diona's almost having a go at me. She's like, "How do you know her?" I would ask for something, and she was all playing it now on Spotify. But like,
German
really,
as well?
No, it was just me being. Did you just hear camp and think Nazi?
Yeah, it's playing it now on Spotify.
There's a character for you, Nazi camp guy.
Yeah. I'm actually going to Nazi camp next month.
No way.
Yeah.
What time out?
Actually, I think I might make this into a bit, but
Yeah.
when we were talking about going to this camp, Catherine was like, "Oh, I've been before. I've never been before to the Auschwitz. Never been before." And she goes, "I'm actually looking forward to go because it's going to be cold this time. Might be a bit of snow. I went before and it was the sun. I just didn't get the full effect." I was like, "Did you not? No, didn't you?" And she was like, "I know. It just didn't feel right that I was sunning myself." And I was like, "All right."
Was
Like
she
that.
Holly Berry in herself with like tinfoil?
Yeah,
Was she
just
just
fully
laying on the train tracks?
Being like, you know what? It's all down to their attitude. See, if I had a better attitude, it mightn't have been too bad being here. And you're going, no, it's not. That's
Will we
wrong.
delete this episode and start again?
Yeah.
I think we should.
Nah. Because again, it's only a joke.
I know, it's banter.
And see, I'll be there. I will have photos of me. I'll get her to get photos of me outside the wee sign and all, with tears that are freezing on my face.
Yeah.
That's what people want, isn't it?
That's it.
But so are you?
Morbid place. You've never been
No.
before? It's morbid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking
You go
forward
in
to
that
it.
room and it's just all the shoes just piled up.
But you know what I'll think the whole way through? Too much. Big guys, too much. Shouldn't have done that. Mean.
Yeah.
But Gemini? Would
Gemini?
you?
Would I?
Would you, eh?
It's debatable. A few drinks of me, you never know.
See,
But,
there's a film out about like Megan Fox's. It's not about her, she's in it, but she's like a new futuristic AI robot that helps around the house.
Megan Firefox?
Yeah, there you go. But
Thank you.
But Megan Fox, I suppose, you could say, again, each to their own, but she is sexy. You could go on record and say Megan Fox is a sexy woman. And this guy in the film, I think his wife is sick or something, or just going through an operation recovering, and she's helping around the house with the kids. And then she's like, "You look stressed, mate. You fancy a rag?" Or words to that effect. And he's like, "Well, it's basically like a Hoover, so I mean, fair enough." And then he bucks her, but then she's a wee rat and all, and tells the missus, basically being like, "You don't satisfy him. Don't worry, I'll do it." And half.
No way.
And she's like, "You bucked the robot," and he's like, "I know, but it's a robot and all." And she's like,
Doesn't
"Even so."
count.
Yeah, but she's like, "But it looks exactly like a hot woman." And he's like, "Fuck me." Can I? It's a flashlight, mate. Relax. It's like a dildo. I'd be going through a drawer and I'll be like, what are these? What are these? You fucking having a go at me? You know?
Your fucking buttons from the Orange Order.
Yeah. What are you doing?
The fuck do you call us?
I mean, that would be incredible. That would bring communities together.
Yeah.
If the Orange Order just for a bit of banter swapped in a dildo. I think that'd be harder to catch and all too.
Yeah. Especially if you turn it on.
Yeah.
You'd be all, oh, you're like fucking slippery finger.
Make the drumming easier. You only have to move your hands. But yeah, so I don't know. Technology, man, where'd it go?
I know. Do you know what I bought about 2 weeks before? No, yeah. Black Friday. Can you call it that anymore? Yeah. Genuinely best thing I've ever bought in my life. Robovac. It's like a circular Hoover, and you literally press play on your phone, or you ask Alexa, and away it goes, just around your bottom floor of your house, and then you can bring it upstairs, remap it.
And does he do a good clean?
Fucking brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's great.
See, but do you ever see stuff in life and you go, that's put me off that forever? I saw somebody once had one of those, but their dog did a shit. And it sucked the shite and just smeared the shite all over the So I'd be worried that my dog would poke or shit or something, and then it's just be.
See, we have no pets, so we have just children.
But I mean, there's a risk there.
Yeah.
But I would love that, and even one for the garden. You know, so the grass cutting ones are good too.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Seen them in action. But then, what's to stop you stealing them?
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Nobody's going to steal it in your house, but if there's one in your garden,
but it must be connected to something so it mightn't work. Do you know what I mean? You'd be able to be scundered as well if you stole one and you had to bring it back and you're like, sorry, I accidentally got into my boot.
Or you brought it home and then you set it down the ground and it went, returning home. And then it just went, and started fucking going back down the street.
You're like, oh, sorry about that. And then it's just some old woman in her 70s standing with a wee control panel like, thieving bastard. You know? Fucking
Happy New Year.
Yes. Happy New Year.
Any resolutions? Do you have any? Or revolutions?
Revelations. No, I don't. I think I will come out as a homosexual. No, I will come out with my learnings, because I feel like I'm a big fan of resolutions. I feel like I used to be very anti them, and I feel now it's a good time for a fresh start to realign your thoughts and your brains. I think maybe the last few years I've looked back, because I keep a wee notebook and have them all in it. I look back over them, and they started off, I think, maybe 3-4 years ago being a bit mental, a bit far-fetched, as they came to be more realistic, and I actually started ticking off things. I'm like, that's the way to go. So I think my advice to anybody that might want to do any sort of New Year thing, or any kind of resolution, or any sort of anything that's substantiated by progress, I would say make them achievable and tick them off and gradually improve, rather than expecting to. I think a lot of people always put the end goal down, you know, whereas like they may like, I don't know, say, like in terms of like one of the things I've done is put a number of acting jobs I want to get, so I'm trying to really focus on that this year. Instead of being like 14 acting jobs, like last year I was like, get 3, you know, because I'd won the year before, get 3 this year.
That's it, do better than last year.
Always try and improve. And with that, rather than going, I think a lot of people go, this is what I want to do, but don't actually map out a route to get there. You know what I mean? So like people be like, oh, I want to do a solo show, sold out tour, and you're like, well, you can do a show, but then what are you going to do to push it? Like then it involves promotional videos to go, you know, pushing. It's the actual steps to get there. Yeah. So I think if you work on the steps more than the end, it's better.
Exactly.
No,
it's incremental, isn't it?
Yeah, I want to make $1 million this year.
You
no,
want to?
No. You know what? Again, I think that's another thing. I've kind of had chats with people recently about career and other things, and I think for me, and I would say to anybody, is be realistic, and instead of going, I guess, because we've had work done in our house, we've had the conversation against or with what we, and this is a builder told us this, and mainly for Catherine's benefit, he goes, in fact an architect, I'm sorry, it was the architect, she goes, you need to think about what you want and what you need. So what's more important? 2 different things. What you need, first of all, is more important. And then if you're in a position whereby you get what you want, whatever. So to me, I need to pay the bills. You know what I mean? I need to have enough for that. So as long as I'm doing that and I'm still able to do it, I'm happy. You know, so then if it just adds up, it's great. You know, and ultimately I think you like, in an ideal world, to have more free time, and however you get to have more free time, probably take on more work at one go, and then work around. So my only resolution is really to try to be happy, do the things that make me happy, which is probably, despite what I say on stage, again jokes, is support the Reform UK Party, and no, is to spend time with the family, make memories, do fun things, and let the kids be happy. Yeah. So ultimately, if you can get more work, great, and get more time off, great. But it's all a work-life balance, isn't it?
Do you find as well kids' happiness leads to you being happier too?
Yeah,
that's how I almost get my happiness these days. To some extent, is through my children and seeing them happy.
And I mean, we're in a world where it's natural to compare yourself to others, and one of the big sayings that I think I have learned to enjoy is comparison's the thief of joy. Do you know? I think if you compare yourself to yourself, and again each year go, if things start to dip off, then you need to look at other options or whatever. Yeah. If things are improving, great. So I think anybody, especially even people that listen to podcasts or comment on videos, I prefer Shane's podcast or I prefer Colin. You know what I mean? It's like we're all friends at the end of the day. Yes, there's probably an element of competition, but if this, the way I look at this podcast is, I'd say it's sort of one of sort of mid-table podcasts. I think it's not one of the big hitters, but it does well.
You're never going to get relegated.
Exactly. I think we're we're an Aston Villa. I think we're sort of,
and they're in Europe
and that's what I think we're trying to do, creep up.
Yeah,
again, it's yes, you'd obviously like life to be easier, but I find that there's a lot of people like the podcast. A lot of people I find recently are coming over to it from maybe other things because it's a bit different. It's a bit sort of sillier probably, and we say things that maybe would be obviously the last 10 minutes we were just talking shit about foreigners. That's obviously a joke, but it's silly and people probably get a giggle out of it. And I think, instead of being I just want to take, we don't have the means to just do what a lot of the other ones do. So we have to make do with the best we have and try to improve, and that's all you can do. So I'd say to anyone listening, just try and improve, be a bit better, and see if you're finding yourself getting into any diffs or struggles or stresses, just make a change. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes.
So. Say that in your Donald Trump voice.
Yeah, if nothing changes, nothing. But it would change because I'm fantastic at change. So what about yourself? Do you have any resolutions or any goals because I must say, as a friend, I do think you seem recently in a better place. I don't know if that's true or not, because again we can always assume, but I just feel like you seem like you're happy with stuff and you have your shit in order and it looks good.
Yeah. Do you know, the last time I was on, me and you talked about sort of we touched on mental health, and we were talking about the remember the lion's mane and stuff that I talked about, and I've never had as much feedback from after a podcast than from your fans and followers who have gotten in contact with me, and they were like, I tried this after you talking about it, or I've always wondered what that's like. Thanks for sharing your experiences and stuff. And I have another one for you now. Okay. I've been listening to an audiobook. It is an actual book that you can buy in shops. But a wee tip for you, right? See if you've Spotify.
Yes.
Excuse me. Are you the main person who what do you call it? The
account holder?
The account holder?
Yes. I thought you were going to say, no, that's Joe Rogan. I think it's the number one guy on Spotify. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'm anywhere near that.
You're 3 or 4. You're probably 3 or 4.
Nice.
You get free audiobooks then through Spotify,
nice.
which I tried to pass on to Diona, and Diona was like, no, it's just for account holders only.
And then you're like, well, I'm tough to...
tough shit, yeah. Your mental health's going down the fucking drain. On you go, right? Mine's...
You're soaring.
So there's something that I've been listening to, right? I've 7 hours 51 minutes left. I'm on chapter 4. It's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And it is.
It sounds disrespectful.
Yeah.
Don't be you anymore.
Yeah. It teaches you all these ways of, if you have past traumas and all this here shit, and I don't want to get fully into it because it's each to their own. It's whatever you can kind of take. That's this is what excuses that I sort of things that I blame stuff on. This is what I blame stuff on, and it's just. It puts it into context and it gives you a scientific kind of breakdown of why you're feeling like that or why you're blaming this on that or what, all things like that. And it just changes your mindset, and it is fucking blowing my mind at the minute.
And what's that called?
Something like How to Not Be Yourself.
How to Not Be Yourself.
Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Dr. Joe Dispenza. And there's the follow.
She's dispensing some rumours there about how to manage mental health. Yes.
Big time. Love it. How to lose your mind and create a new one is the subheading, and it's included in premium if you can get audiobooks.
I tell you what though, I quite like the idea of a book now. And again, it's that problem of actually having the time to sit. Now I listen to a lot of shite, like I listen to podcasts, and so I might do that and get in, because I like to try. Again, I always think if you can improve yourself, you should.
That's my aim this year, is to just improve myself and make myself better than last year. And I'm putting so much, like, I think as well in terms of stand-up, I feel like I've got so complacent over the past 5 to 6 years, and I think this year I'm making it like the comeback year. Yeah. And not for anyone else, just for me. I haven't been reaching my true potential, and that's down to me. Mm-hmm. You can go like, oh, I'm better than him, or she's better than me, or whatever, but you're in competition with yourself at the end of the day. You're in competition with last year's you or yesterday's you. Yeah. Whereas now I'm like, right, let's try and reach my full potential here, because that's what I haven't been doing. And I've been going, oh, why did I not get that job, or why did I not get this gig? It's because I haven't been putting the work in. But I've been making excuses.
But also too, I think, given the fact that you have a lot of spinning plates, sometimes you have to prioritise things in order to do that. And like, again, I've said this on the pod, like, this is the year that I'm really trying to push the podcast. This is the year that I'm like not accepting just putting any old clip out. It has to be a certain standard. I expect that, and that's it. And because it had been like, that's why I took a break at Christmas, because and I'll put this on Patreon. It was looking back on scunner for myself. I'm wearing this exact outfit actually, ironically, and I was trying to do the introduction to the podcast, and then I just lost my mind on camera. I was like, and this and that. I was just the same old, and I went, why the fuck am I doing this? Is shit. Like, why am I doing this shit? And I was like, oh,
are you doing stuff because you see other people doing it? Because I see a lot of that.
Because no, I was doing it. It was what it was I was doing the podcast at that time because I felt I had to do it every week, and because people expected every week. Whereas it was becoming a drag for me to do it because of other stuff going on. Again, I had stuff going on in my personal life with the work in the house and not being at home and being stressed out, and Catherine starting a new job and having to manage the kids all the time, and it just got a bit much. And I felt like, rather than, like today, we came in to do it. Now we're going to collect Matilda, of course, because life happens. But I'm in today. I'm looking forward to coming in. We're having a coffee. It's chilled. I want to be here. Mm-hmm. Whereas I felt like I was having to fit it in to meet the deadline of having to be there. Whereas I want it to actually be enjoyable and fun. I think it comes across, if you're just doing it. So I went, you know what? Something's not right here. There are issues I had in terms of like how we were, even the boring side, getting it from in this room online. And like, we have a team behind it. I see there's a lot of potential to do well with it. Mm-hmm. But we're pulling no handbrake, and I was like, no, this year it has to be, we've tried things differently. And again, if it doesn't work, and things don't go, like if it's not worthwhile to do, I'll just bin it, I'll do something else. But I do really want it to succeed, but I don't want to waste my time. Again, it's time. I just don't want to waste time anymore. Yeah. And I think that's the important thing with it. And I think like with your stand-up, like if you go to yourself, right, my writing maybe, or my acting, or my like corporate work is maybe more important. Not if you know my stand-up, I'm going to write more, I'm going to focus more, I'm going to push it more. You'll notice it getting easier. You know what I mean? And I think that's how I find with this. Even my mindset here has changed, and like I think that's the way to do it. Is go like with stand-up. I think I don't know what has changed, but in the last maybe few years, I think maybe since it's been my full-time job, I think there'd be times that I'd come out of work and gone, oh, it's almost like a pain in the arse to do it. Whereas now I'm like, it's a pleasure to do this. And also I keep using the phrase, they're getting it. Like that's what gets me psyched up. You know the Whaleston Raider, I'll give it you. I'm like, they're getting it. And like on dailies on Friday, I was like, there was a change up, with the lineup. Shane went on first, and I know a lot of people had come to see him. I'm like, well, I'm going on the end. If they're saying Shane, fuck it, they're getting it. I'm going to give it them, whether they want it or not.
See you too, though.
But the thing was if they were there to see him, I'm like, well, I'm not going to let the dip. I'm going to give it them, and I'm going to make them come out of it and go, fuck, Dave was great as well. So I think that's a lot of it's due to mindset on everything. But then not everyone has an easy life. Not everyone has an easy time, and it is hard to sometimes go, if you're stressed out or struggling, to go up on stage and go like, oh, it's hard to put on that mask. And I think that's,
especially when you're going up to try and make people laugh, it's like when you're in bad form, the last thing you want to do is even smile or feel happy. You almost want to beat yourself up or put yourself down or feel like it's, the audiobook that I was actually listening to in the car on the way down this morning says to me that sometimes you try and make yourself feel unhappy because it makes you feel good, which is really weird, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes as well, like when I was doing Stars in Our Eyes, I love being involved in stuff like that. See all the things with all the comedians. It's the fucking best time. It's like going on a 18 to 30s holiday with all the lads, which is something I've never experienced.
30 to 45 now with us.
30 to 45, yeah. And I hated the thoughts of doing it, but I loved I say yes to all these things because I want to be involved in everything. But I didn't want to do it because I'm so out of my comfort zone singing in front of an audience, because I can't sing for shit. So I just went, right, I'll just flip it and I'll just go the other way and I'll just completely take the piss out of myself. I'll do Taylor Swift. I'll sing Shake It Off and I'll just fucking have a laugh and go mad with it. And riddled with anxiety the whole way up to it. Almost like every time I was speaking to people on the day and they were all, how do you feel? And I was like, I don't want to do it. You know, I shouldn't be here and stuff. And I almost felt like I was being a dick, or, you know, I was coming across the wrong way, whereas that's not what I meant. I obviously loved being there and loved being around everybody, but I hated the thoughts of just being out there on my own singing a song and just being in a real vulnerable place. But I think as well, sometimes we have to take a step back and go, there's probably 150 comedians in this part of the world, or in this part of the country, this country, whatever you want to call it.
Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland.
Great Britain and UK.
Great Britain, yeah. And
the North of Ireland, whatever, shut up, are we joking?
yeah, and 100 of them would bite your dick off to be in that position. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we need to take a step back and go, the position that we're in at the minute, someone else could take your place tomorrow. If you're not working hard, if you're not up there putting in the time and the work and the energy and the effort and giving people a good time or doing a good job, you'll be replaced in a heartbeat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No matter who you're friends with.
Yeah,
I think it's something we have to remember.
But I also think too, like, you, when you did it, like, you were on first as well, but you got the people going. Like, that was from being in the wings. Like, you were one of the ones I was watching, and I was like, the crowd were sort of a bit not off, but they were sort of, you couldn't get a feel for them because
Didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, but when you went on, straight away there was laughter, there was cheering, people were clapping, singing along.
Great song too.
It's a cracker, but like that set the tone for the whole night, and I think leading into it, because it had gone from being in Limelight to being in Ulster Hall, and there's maybe people felt more pressure because it's again forcing to sell tickets and trying to do it, and I
more
get all
people
that.
Right before Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, it was just it was one of them.
But you got the people right up for it, and it was class, and I think that I really enjoyed it, and I think it was a really fun night, and I like doing those things because it's different, you know. I think like
it's like the darts, it's like the boxing, it's like everything. It's like being involved in all these things. It's like they're all different. It's like we're all. It's like somebody's going, Joe, I'd love to be a professional footballer sometime, and then we organise a comedians football match and we all play in a stadium and people come and watch us and pay in, and
it's
like, we're raising money for charity and we're having a fucking great time, all being footballers for the night. Yeah.
Sometimes I look at life.
It's like make a wish for us all, isn't it?
It's silly. Like sometimes you get the things you get the chance to do. You're like, this is great. And again, I always equate it. Like I was having a chat last night with someone about it, and I was like, you know, when you get offered a job and you weigh up the time you take to do it, and I got married to a nurse. And I go, she's getting had to work 8 hours in some of the worst conditions. Imagine, well, stress, literally life and death. And I'm like, do I want to drive to Ballymena for 20 minutes? And you're like, yeah, probably fucking do it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's mad. And like, I just actually want to give a shout out to an event they did last year that they're doing another one. Coven Comedy Club are running a version of The Traders called The Touts. I think it's a black box on the 27th or 28th or 29th of January. I think one of those 3 dates. Again, apologies if I'm wrong, but that event last year, I did it in the Banana Block. It was one of the most fun nights I've ever had ever. It was unbelievable. Like, do you ever watch The Traders?
I've seen 1 or 2 episodes.
Oh man, it was so much fun. If I was strapped up to a heart monitor, I was fucking stressed. I couldn't believe it. I made it down to, I think I was the second last faithful. Right. Me and Willie. But then Willie's wee rat, so you always think he's a traitor anyway, and he wasn't. And then, but there was McKegney, the bastard that got us both signing at each other, and then I got voted out, and then Willie got voted out, and the traitors won hers. But it was unbelievable, really well organised. Shout out to Alex for running it, and Sarah Coven it was an unbelievable night. So if you get a chance, if there's any tickets left, go and see that because it's amazing. And again, hopefully this one goes really well and do it again because I want to go back because it was so much fun.
Yeah,
it was so much fun.
That's good.
Really, really good.
Is there much preparation and something like that? Is there rehearsals and stuff?
Well,
or
not
what
for
happens?
us, but for
Right.
I assume for Alex and Sarah putting it all together. Like, it was properly, really well organised. Like, 'cause you need the games, you need to work it away, and because it's not like the actual traders in that we're all sitting around a table, there needed to be rounds and need to make sense, and it was just so well done, and it was so exciting, and I was so stressed out, and like I felt so bad. I was like Leanne Toland, apologies. I really went for her, really got her out and said she's a trader, and she wasn't, and I felt bad. But to be fair, she's getting on like a trader, in fairness. But yeah, I'm sorry for that. But it makes you feel bad, and it makes you lose trust for people and all.
Right.
Like, see McKegney, Amory Was, David Docherty Jeg, David Docherty Jeb, rats.
Couldn't
Bro.
trust them now, no.
No, Brona Diamond, besties forever. Me and her, we went
Right.
out. We were the two looking out for each other. And you know what they did? Killed her.
It's all right.
Killed her.
Heartless
DDJ,
bastards.
killed her. A podcast co-host, killed her. Disrespectful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was great. It was an amazing night. Really good fun.
Class.
And
And you don't know who's doing it this time around?
I
no?
think I've only seen Teresa and Shane are doing it, and Saul from Ulster Sports Club runs the No Joke. He's in there too. But I mean, I think I'll probably go down and watch anyway because it was that much fun.
Class.
But yeah, I would give that a shout out.
I did a murder mystery down Cathedral Quarter about 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, and hated the thoughts of it. But I was like, I'm a yes guy. I'll do it because it's a new experience. And it was the weirdest thing I've ever took part in. It was so strange that you with a script, but they were like, just wing it or whatever. But try and briefly stick to the script. But they give you a script like 10 minutes before you went out. So nobody knew any lines. Nobody knew what direction it was going in.
You were doing it, or were you
Yeah,
like
it was
taking
actually
part?
acting in it.
Yeah.
But it was just the weirdest thing. I think I was dressed as like almost like an Al Capone type
Yeah.
guy with dicky bone stuff. It was just it was mental. It was so weird.
But like I'd love to. Like, I've never done anything like that before. But after the traders,
If there was another comedians event, what would you like to see next? Obviously, we've done the darts, we've done the boxing, we've played football loads of times, we've done Stars and Race. Is there
naked
anything next?
attraction.
Naked attraction.
Naked attraction. Yeah.
Just
I'd like
with
to
single
do.
comedians or
No,
just
that's all,
everybody?
yeah. Me and my wee ring hand down on, Fitbit on, small dick. Oh, that's Dave. Yeah.
The thumb ring.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll be. I mean, I'll draw a crowd for sure. But I don't know. Yeah, I think like. But you know what? I like those events. You know, like they did the.
They're just different, aren't they?
They
they're
did
so fun.
the comedians comedy at the SSE, which I was like, it felt like a wee bit of a slag on the fact that there are other events, but I think you need all those events. Like just doing stand up can get a wee bit samey, you know. So doing other events is fun.
Yeah.
It's not just fun; it's fun for us as well. You know what I mean? Like I enjoyed that, and I love the darts. I'd love there to be darts again. It was great crack, but to be fair, I absolutely wrote off.
Yeah,
time.
we just have to
Yeah.
put a lid on the drinks. Like we just have to be
No,
like,
never.
drinks
I
after.
will.
That
I
was
will.
mental.
You know what we should do? We should do. There's a film Beer Fest, which is a cult classic, you could say, and it's like basically pub drinking games on like a massive scale. If we did a big drinking games event, two
That'd be
teams of
great.
comedians, beer pong, that'd be like a beer pong. There you go, comedians beer pong tournament. So you have brackets, so you have to drink a lot and play a lot of beer pong, and if you win, everyone's blocked. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do
That'd be
the
class, wouldn't it?
comedians beer pong 2025, and then do it around the summer. And that was another thing actually we were chatting about. My mate Connor Keys, our mate, friend of the show, friend of mine, great guy.
Great guy.
He was like, Christmas isn't enough, and I'm like, you're right, Keysy. He goes, we need to do something in the summer. I'm like, you're right, Keysy. Let's do a big cookout or something, or a big
Just do a
summer piss
festival.
up. But then I don't want to do any stand up.
No, as in
Go to a festival.
no, hire singers or bands, and it's for comedians only.
But then you have to watch them all after a while. I might be like, I just want to get pissed.
I know, but then it could be just like when you're in a bar when there's just somebody playing in the corner. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to watch them if you don't want to. There can be an area for watching,
But
and
that'd
an
be
area
so
for
disrespectful.
mingling.
If we got a festival together, we're like, cheers, bro. You know,
We'll
it's
all
just-
chat.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
something in the summer would be nice again, because I love the Christmas do. It's always great fun.
It
It's
is
always
great fun.
Yeah, I just got completely plastered this year, obviously off my toot. Do you know what?
It's the way to do
You
it.
live and you learn. Come Christmas next year, same process again, I'm sure. That's it. Speaking of, actually, I need to get a bit of advice. You're a man who's a well-travelled guy. I'm going away tomorrow for a couple of days to myself to Eastern Europe
Oh yeah.
for work. Not like it sounds very much like I've just had some sort of breakdown. I'm taking a bit of time for me.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I've been away anywhere, I think, by myself so I don't know what to be at. I don't know whether I'm going to a city where I've been before in a stag do, but I've never been. It's in Prague. I suppose I can say that, Prague. But I don't know what to do. I'm getting some clothes fitted tomorrow. I think I have to get picked up at the house at 4 a.m. and heading away.
It's great when you get picked up though, isn't it? When you have a job like that and you don't have to worry about parking or driving or nothing.
Because I think this is the problem too. In like being a stand-up, I think we come from the world of don't worry, we'll sort ourselves.
Yeah.
Whereas when people like in the morning,
the acting world's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're lifted and laid.
But then like even whenever I was doing blue lights, I was like, do you want picked up? And I was like, nah, it's just down the road, like. It's like not far.
Always get picked up.
And I was like, no, I'll drive myself because I was going to gigs afterwards and stuff. So I was like, never worry. So I was just going like, right lads, and off I went. And then with this, so I'm like going to the airport, putting the car in. Nah, I'll take that. So I'm getting collected at 4 a.m. and I think I'm going to probably get fitted at about 1 o'clock probably by the time I get there.
In Prague?
Mm-hmm. So when that's done, I assume I'll just have the afternoon
free
evening
time
to myself. So I'm going to try and do a wee bit of touristy stuff. And then I have to get home and I have to do a pre-bed FaceTime with the girls. Like Holly got a wee iPad for her birthday there, and she's just tortures me with it.
Yeah.
So
always
she
like
can
video calling you.
She can text message off it or like iMessage.
Mm.
So like I got a message the other day saying, "Daddy, can you make me pancakes?" And then just about 45,000 pancake emojis. So she's me tortured. But again, she got it for work, like school, like a lot of their school work. They work on tablets in school and all, so it's for that. But all she does is FaceTimes me, and so it's on the radio, and I got a call from her, and she might need me. And she's like, "Right, Dad." I'm like, "No, I can't." She's like, "All right, no worries."
It's amazing,
So I have to get home in time to do that. But it's mad because we're going to the Auschwitz big up next month. So I just feel like I'm a jet setter heading to Eastern Europe to just have a great time. But the biggest mug of all time, I have a wee rucksack. I always like my gig bag. I have a gig bag. It's good for laptop and all. It broke. I packed it in. Had it for about 5 years and packed in. So order a new bag, but a travel bag. Because again, being assumptive, but I want to go across and gig more sort of over the weekend places. And this year, I've got all stuff to pop. So it's just a good bag for it, and it doesn't arrive until Wednesday afternoon. So
Decathlon, mate.
Yeah,
down the road.
They have.
That's where I'm going straight after here.
Yeah, what are you going for?
A fluorescent running jacket. Just a wee rain jacket.
Oh, you know what you should get? I bought this now again, not for running, obviously, but for going looking at my attic. I got a wee headband, strip light.
That's what I need too. I searched for one online about 2 weeks ago, and I swear I've seen about 60 ads on social media since.
No, there's
same with saunas too.
Yeah,
so that was all we saw out the back. It'd be sexy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Me and Diona at night, kids go to bed, and you're out in your swimwear. You know,
you've good space for sauna too.
We do, we do, have loads of room. But I searched for one once online a week ago. Ever since sauna, zip up ones, all kinds of indoor ones, outdoor ones, barrel ones. Fucking tortured.
This must be why there's daddies all over my fucking everywhere. Shit. Damn it.
So what advice did you need?
Advice like what would you do?
What you could do when you're away?
Because you're a guy who enjoys your own company and can put your time in rightly. Like you're a man who always. What would you do if you get there and you have a day to yourself? What would you do?
A nice walk. Sample food you've never sampled before. Put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to try something. If you don't like it, bin it and get a kebab. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Do IVF out there? That's what we did.
Yeah,
you could do that.
I mean, that'd be classic.
Give somebody your jizz.
Yeah.
In a consensual way.
Nice. No, again, I think that'd be an issue if I were like, listen, to Catherine, I'm going to give some people my jizz when I'm here. It's not a, like, I'm just going to jack into. I mean, like, you know what? You should be doing that.
Yeah.
I think, guys, if you're just jacking, you may as well just give it to someone to use for a good cause.
You're doing your bit for the planet, aren't you?
Yeah. You could give me the address of your the place you went, and I'll go and give them a shout out to them.
Yeah.
Give a holler, shake the hand of the guy that gave you your beautiful kids.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It'd be very weird.
If they're ours.
Very weird for them. You know? Yeah. Just want to say thank you.
My mate was in here a few years ago, and he's now got 2 kids. Thank you.
And they're like, all right, mate, security.
You should definitely watch Hostel on the flight.
Yeah, you know what? It's definitely a sort of place, isn't it?
Yeah,
Prague's the kind of place.
Yeah.
Like Prague, Budapest, like Krakow, they're all the sort of places you see it happening.
Yeah, you'll see loads of middle-aged men just travelling by themselves with wee briefcases.
You know what's weird? I'm going to look like that. I look like the kind of guy that would go to Prague for sex. You know, sitting on
not just normal sex either.
Oh, no.
Like proper
freaky
dark
shit.
stuff.
Yeah, and I also, it's been pointed out to me, look like one of the guys, you know, the Gold Mask crew in Squid Game. You know, I look like him as well. I'm like, I just look like a pervert. You know, that's. It's actually nice that I'm going here. The role I'm playing isn't the pervert. That's what I get offered roles, either bad guy, hard guy, pervert. Sometimes all three rolled into one. But this is just for.
If you had a big giant hat, you could definitely be someone in Big Trouble in Little China too.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
That'd be a lot
more
fun.
trouble in Little China.
Big slag, no slags and prags. Sounds like something. Slags and Prague. Whoa. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. It was one of those ones that I don't know. Like, I'm sure we are sort of wired the same. First feeling was guilt. I was like, oh fuck, am I going to be able to sort childcare?
Yeah.
Can I go to do this?
Book talk's all about that, David.
Yeah. Do you know guilt? Is it good?
Yeah, it's great. Can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, but you know what, Catherine, really buzzing for me. Childcare is okay. My mum not so buzzing because she has to step up and help. But and as another awkward thing, shout out to my mother-in-law, had an operation in her back this week, which is not ideal for childcare, but for her it'll make her life way better, and I really hope for speedy recovery. But it's just a bad week to be going away, but you know, good opportunity, and sometimes do that. And the wee hotel they put me up in, sweet. It's like a nice wee, it's like an old boutique hotel, like in an old monastery.
Did you get a wee swim pool, wee steam room and stuff?
Spa,
mate. Love it.
Catherine was raging this morning. I brought out my swim trunks and folded them, set them in the bed. She's like, "You're a dick." Yep.
Speedos.
Yeah, and I mean, I do look like a guy that loves the sauna. And anything with it has slightly perverted connotations, it's me.
Yeah, like a wee pocket on the front, and then just a line the whole way around. A wee line down your arse. That's what I picture you wearing.
Yeah, I mean, I might get a Speedo. You know, I might do that. Like, this is another weird thing. Like, I've been to Budapest a couple of times. Once on a stag do and once on honeymoon. And both times went to the baths. I feel like I have to go to a bath whenever I'm in Eastern Europe. It's just a respectful thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. You should find one. We went to one in Budapest. Yeah. And there's just guys just playing chess against each other.
Was that the big yellow ones?
Coming out of them.
Shisheni baths or whatever.
So yeah.
And it was class.
Could be right. Yeah, they're great.
Because when we went again twice, is maybe like the thing Catherine was saying about not getting the full experience of Auschwitz. But in the baths, when I went the first time on the stag do, it was freezing. So like we were in the water and you can't drink in the water, but you can get out. So we all had the rules where someone had to go and buy 8 pints. So like there's 8 of us, someone to go buy the 8 pints and set the 8 pints on the side, and then if you had to drink your pint, you had to get out of the water, which was fucking freezing. And you had to drink your pint. You weren't allowed back in until you finished, and then tag the next person. That was great crack. And at the time I had hair, so my hair was when it was wet, it started to freeze on my head. It was that cold. And then after a while, we got fairly pissed with the beers, and we were in the water with the beers, and the guy's like, "You get out of the beer." But then we just disappeared off into the mist, and he couldn't see us. He's like, "You fucking..." And then there was just big guys playing chess and drinking. You know that drink Unicum, which looks like Unicum.
Yeah.
And it's stinking. It tastes like Buckfast that you've poured it through soil. It's rotten stuff, but they always see soil. Boys like, that's a life. Just in your kecks, playing chess with your brothers, drinking shots.
Middle of the afternoon during the week.
Just a great time on a Tuesday afternoon. Like that's the living. Like that's what I look at people and I go, that's like, see these guys are like, what's stopping you from having a private jet? And it's like, no, what's stopping you from being in your pants on a Tuesday with your mates? Like that's living.
Chess.
You're just having a good time. I like just doing that. It's great.
You should bring a straw into the water and like drink it and swallow it and go in front of people just while eyeballing it. That'd be nice.
It would be nice for my inside. Like,
fuck, you'd die.
Imagine what's in that water.
I know.
But I got stuck in the whirlpool. Did you ever go over the wee whirlpool in it? And it was quite powerful. So I couldn't really stop. And then more people were crashing into me. And I was like, I'm fucked. I live here now. I can't escape. Getting stuck in this whirlpool. It was really stressful.
It'd be great if the next episode of your podcast was just you. My guest this week is fucking Gustav from the Czech Republic. Just some guy following you around.
The lost guy, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And
a great time.
I'm going to try and invest in it, instead of, because again, if you get overcome with the guilt, you'll sit in your room all the time being like, I miss home.
Yeah, like you don't deserve to have fun with your children.
But you know what? I'm going to eat a few churros. I'll find a market. I'll eat a sausage. Maybe have a cold beer. Yeah. Maybe I'll go to a brothel. I mean, who knows? Just let's see.
Have you Googled things to do in Prague?
Not yet.
You definitely should.
Again,
watch my YouTube video.
I'll watch a couple of videos. I'll have a good time, and I'll look forward to it. And then I'll go and be a serious performer.
Of course you will.
And
You're there how long?
Until Saturday. So Wednesday to Saturday. So
class.
Be nice. And I assume I'll be shooting on Thursday, Friday. So the way I see it, and this could be wrong, I could see Wednesday, get my fitting, scoot about the town, maybe get something nice for tea. Thursday, shooting. Friday, shooting. Probably a wee wrap up, a few drinks on a Friday night. But then I'm getting picked up bright and early on Sunday to go, or Saturday to go to the airport.
But that's the key word. Picked up. Words.
True.
You're getting picked up. You don't have to drive.
But what I will do, I've learned from last time when I was in New York and I took edibles, is I'll pack my suitcase before I go out. Because then when you get up and you're absolutely off your dick trying to pack, because you don't know you forgot passport and all. But I'll be much more organised this year and I'll not get blootered.
And have you many lines to learn?
Like 2, mate. It's sweet.
Fucking sweet.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's sweet, yeah.
Do you feel though, with the less lines that you have, the more emphasis you put on it, where you're like, I'm going to say these completely wrong and completely, where it just doesn't make any sense, or you're going to emphasise the wrong word in the sentence, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's
because you have so few words.
But then what happened, I remember I did a show before last year, I was filming, and I had like a couple of lines, and like when I was doing the run through with the director and the other actors who have loads of lines, I fucked mine up, so they were doing theirs, and then he was like, "Oh, it's you now?" I was like, "Sorry, man. Yeah, no bother." So I just don't want to, because the ones I'm in here are kind of like the actors are pretty established and well known, and I just don't want to. Again, that's my biggest fear, and I think it's my biggest feeling is making a dick of myself. So as long as I don't make a dick of myself, I'll be all right. Yeah, like that's it, you know. And but that's my always the worry. Like, see, when you watch anything back, I hope I haven't made a dick of myself, and thankfully, you know,
so far so good.
So far, but
you wouldn't bring a wee mic or two with you, and
yeah, I'm going to. I'm actually going to bring my GoPro. I'm charging my batteries, and I'll maybe make a wee vlog. Patreon.com.
Do you know what I like doing sometimes when I'm away? If you take a 5 to 10 second video every hour or two, or Joe, if like, oh, I'm walking up the steps of the plane, I'm getting off the plane, or Joe, the fucking out the window, and just piece it all together with some music or a voiceover at the end of it, you know, and it's sort of like, it's like a wee video diary. I did that of our honeymoon and stuff. The videos are on YouTube, and it's literally like 3 or 4 minutes long. They're just like almost like a music video or like a travel vlog. But
why do you see my dick?
And it's just
why do you see
my mama, let me whisper in your ear.
Just the honeymoon video, and you're like, Sean, this is not what I wanted it to be. Bam, 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 bam.
Do. Who name the guys doing that?
Yin
for a favour?
Yin
Yang Twins. Love it.
That's a creepy song. I could do. I'd be hired. I'd be employed to do that job.
Whisper.
Can you whisper that song? Little bitch, let me whisper. Remember, there was a period of time where being a total creep was just like sexy, like those
like
guys.
Chris Brown?
And he took it to the next level. But you know, just like whisper, like saying totally disgusting things on songs. You know, like Petey Pablo was a dirty bastard. You know, I like the way your waist vibrates. You're like, what? Like, ding 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 ding, you bitch. You're like, fucking hell. That's weird. David Banner's another one. He's a, come girl, I'm trying to get your pussy wet. What?
Oh yeah.
Let me see you drip sweat. Too much.
I'm trying to think of what other ones there were.
There
were loads back in the like late 90s, early.
All you ladies pop your pussy like this.
Oh yeah.
Just do it now, lick it good. Like aggressive. Suck a pussy.
Yeah.
Suck it.
Yeah,
stinking. Yeah, just imagine really. Oh, it's horrible.
I think the best opening line to any song ever is Tupac Hit 'Em Up.
Yeah.
He just straight out of nowhere, it's why I fucked you bitch, you fat motherfucker, and you're like, here. Do you want to relax a wee bit? Throw it in the middle of the song, do you know what I mean? Don't.
You know, another stinking one is, Mystical.
Shake your ass.
Yeah, shake the open lyric to that song is, I came here with my dick in my hand. Don't make me leave you with my foot in your ass. You're like, what? Like, you're the problem? Like, imagine some guy walking in, jacking it, kicking the shit out of you. Like, what the fuck?
So weird.
Yeah,
the worst
so
burglary
weird.
ever.
Yeah. Danger! What? Yeah, fucking right. And he's full-time in prison now for being a sex pervert. Yeah, so
it's like 20 years or something.
Yeah.
But another, when you were talking about Shaun of the Dead, do you remember Scary Movie? Yes. Obviously, it's written by black guys and stuff, and they've written for this wee white woman. Do you remember the white woman on the piano? And she did Mystical, Shake Your Ass.
Yeah.
And she's dropping the N-word flat out, wasn't she?
Yeah. Oh, there's one of my favourite scenes in a movie ever, in Scary Movie. It's just the how blasé he does it. You know, he's getting dressed. The brother's like, hey, yo, what you think, tucked in or out? And then zooms out his dick's between his legs.
Absolutely brilliant.
I think I cried laughing the first time I saw that.
I think one of the best characters in the Scary Movie sort of series of them all is your guy that had the wee hand.
Yeah. Oh.
And he Took the toothbrush and all.
Yeah. And then the guy in the wheelchair doesn't want any help.
Yeah.
He's like, pull himself up the stairs. Oh,
Cracker
tremendous.
movies, weren't they?
Oh, well,
Brilliant.
yeah, a lot of white people in them, but they were superb. But Sean, listen, it has been a pleasure. This has been a lot of fun. Again, where can people find you?
Do you want my address or what?
I mean, if you want to go put it in the description, people can come to your door. No, I mean, you joke about it. You know as well as I do.
Yeah.
Some people might.
You can search for it on Property Pal and you can see,
What's going on.
how it looked before.
Or what you could do if you really wanted to get you could put on that you're selling a cheap but really good quality sauna in the area, and then you'll be like, oh, I think I love a
good chance
bargain.
I'll contact you.
Yeah, and then that's how you get them.
Like if you have a sauna where you need a headlight to go into it, even better.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
That's the only access. You need your face reflected with a headlight. There you go.
I'm touring this year.
Oh, nice.
Never toured before.
Where you touring?
17 years. All over.
I guess that's a long tour.
Yeah. I'm all over. I think I'm doing the Courthouse Bangor.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully finishing up in Mandala. Dailies, Strabane, other places like that. So I'll be.
Where can you get your tickets?
I'll be dropping that. Don't know yet. I haven't worked that out yet. So I'm flying solo this year.
Good.
So I have an agent that I'm sort of figuring the logistics out with at the minute, and then we'll be announcing everything probably. I was going to announce it very soon, but January people are kind of clawing back the overspending of December.
Yeah.
So February or March I'll be dropping that.
Good
It'll
stuff.
be the whole of September.
And I'll be hanging about at the courthouse, whether you want me to or not.
You do a wee set for me?
I'm happy to do a wee set, but even if I don't do a wee
I'd love
set, I
that.
want someone else. I'm happy to just come and hang out in the veil of the
You're
riders.
happy to come?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You know me, I love to come.
Keep it with my dick in my head.
Into the courthouse, it's barred forever. So keep it out. Check out Sean, and again, thank you very much for your ears. It's been a lot of fun.
I'm a
and
sly guy.
There you go. Perfect.
I'm the sly guy.